how to make self-improvement actually work for you. How to make self-help actually work. That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, please, I need to inhale the life source that is your validation. So if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell. Like and comment all other platforms. Please share with your friends. Like, comment, add your 2 cents. Okay, today we're going to talk about how to make self-improvement actually work, because for the most part, it doesn't. I get why people are jaded about self-improvement, because for the most part, it's actually ineffective. You know, you watch a video and it gets you hyped up for a little bit, and then you go home and you do nothing. You go to a seminar, you get hyped up for a little bit, and then you go home and do nothing. So how do you make self-improvement actually work over the long term? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You have to brainwash yourself. Like, literally. I don't know the exact mechanisms of brainwashing, but you basically have to brainwash yourself. And you have to repeat information that you learn from self-improvement and implement it an insane amount of time. You have to do it over and over and over and over again. And I can see why doing it so much doesn't seem like it's worth it to some people. And that's why they stay stuck. And that's totally fair. But if you're going to come out on the other side, you essentially have to brainwash yourself. So I've told this story many times before. Back when I was living in the college town I lived in, after having dropped out, I had no money. I was broke. I moved to a new apartment. I had like $53 in my bank account. I got a job. Luckily, for whatever reason, right when I was dead broke, I did get a job at a video store. And at first, I just wanted to get a job. I just wanted to be like a clerk at this video store. But I was still, pretty articulate. I was still sharp. I was just a loser. So I was like an articulate, sharp loser. But I walked in and they noticed something in me. And instead of just offering for me to be a clerk, they offered me to train to become the manager of the store. So that moment led to my path to self-improvement. I was like, okay, I really don't want to screw this up. So what can I do to improve myself? So I just went online. I started Googling things. I was on YouTube all the time. I was watching video, TED Talks, different things like that. I stumbled across a self-improvement course by a guy named Tai Lopez, which I'm sure you all know because he has spammed his whole life all over YouTube and all over social media. The infamous Tai Lopez. Yes, I took his course. And the course, the thing that was effective about it, it was called the 67 Steps. It was that he had you watch a new video every single day. And the reasoning behind that was because apparently the University of College London says that it takes 66 days for you to acquire a new habit. So he created 67, added a bonus day. So I would watch those videos, and I didn't have a car at the time. The store that I worked at was about a mile away. So I would walk to work and I would listen to those videos, and I would listen on the way back. And there was also a bank that was an additional mile away from the store, and I had to drop off deposits every night. Again, no car. So I would walk a mile there and back every day. So it was like 2 to 4 miles every day, however that math works out. I was listening to these videos. So I did finish all 67 steps, but then I did the 67 steps over and over and over and over and over again. Most of those videos in that program I've listened to dozens of times. If I combine the amount of times I listened to those videos, it's probably thousands of times. And then I stumbled into writing, and I needed additional motivation to keep me on the path. So I would read books. I've read, I don't like to be the person who talks about how many books they've read, but I must have read something like 150 books at least in the past 5 years. I was watching videos constantly. Every day on my way to work, I would wake up, read, write, listen to a video on the way to work, listen back. When I was working out, I would have a podcast on. When I was cleaning, I would have something in my ear. I would have headphones in my ear all the time, like I'm a maniac. And I was just brainwashing myself to get myself to stay focused, because there's a couple reasons why you need to keep yourself so insulated. One, The world is an extremely negative place. The lowest common denominator of our society is not good. It ranges from mediocrity to jaded, cynical, abject failure. Like that's the paradigm with which society operates. So just to stay above that, just to get above all of that, you have to focus on self-improvement and then do everything you can to ignore everything else. And then you just need repetition because your brain doesn't actually want you to succeed. Your mind, your monkey mind, it doesn't want you to succeed. Again, you have that caveman brain. The caveman brain is looking for safety, looking for shelter, looking to avoid pain, looking to avoid anything that would lower status. That's why people don't want to get rejected, because it lowers their status, and they don't just see it as lowered status. You literally have that caveman brain that equates lowered status with being abandoned from the tribe and being left to die. So these are very deep-seated things that you need to rewire your brain in order to have any motivation level to be successful. And literally, I don't know the science behind it, but I've read books where they talk about the way that you learn and different information you learn. And when you implement things, it can actually change the chemistry of your brain, change the neural pathways, change the way your brain is constructed. So you have to hammer it, hammer it, hammer it, hammer it, hammer it. I can't tell you how many times when I was trying to get my writing career off the ground, when I was just trying to tread above water, I'm like, fuck this. Like, this is hard. Like, why even do this? Like, what's the point? I should just, fold. At least if I had a regular life, I wouldn't have to like worry and, be pushing myself and waking up at 5 a.m. Like, this is bullshit. That's what my monkey mind was telling me. So I had to continue self-improvement over and 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 over again. Building different habits, getting different inputs. And the most important thing was to implement what you've learned. So what I would do is I would get a piece of advice, but then I would actually try to implement it instead of just letting it go in one ear and out the other. And implementing it is hard. Like, there's no amount of self-improvement that's gonna, replace that gap between your thought and action. So I don't know what to tell you in that regard. You're just gonna have to do it, and then you're gonna have to do it repeatedly until you get to a point where you're at a base level. So now I don't have to consume self-improvement content every day to will myself to do things anymore. But that took 5 years of multiple hours per day of injecting that content into my brain and then implementing it to rewire my brain, because the world's a negative place. My own ego, monkey mind, is a very negative place. Most environments aren't set up for you to succeed. Education systems not set up for you to succeed. Corporate system is not set up for you to succeed. Society as a whole is not set up for you to succeed. The food you eat, the health aspect of society is not set up for you to succeed. In very different ways, everything is set up for you to fail. It's designed for you to fail, to stay complacent so that too many people don't rise up at once. So I don't have great news for you in that I can promise you that if you do these 10 steps I tell you in 6 weeks, you'll be successful. It's like, no, brainwash yourself. I know that's a sobering answer to hear, but that's the truth. So I'm going to be creating so many videos that I'm going to brainwash myself into becoming a successful YouTuber. So just watch all of my videos and allow me to control your mind, okay? You 2.0, that's the book. That's the book. Amazon, all of the platforms, you can find it. Just Google You 2.0 or Google my name. Like, comment, subscribe, validate. Waft over your validation from your side of the universe to mine. I will see you tomorrow.